This time we have gone in for an alternate mode of raising the revenue through non-fare box, which is by way of advertising, by way of monetizing our unused land, and we are also concentrating on parcel revenue, which has exploded by way of FMCG growth and e-commerce growth, which we have not been able to tap so far in substantial number. So these areas also we have tried to concentrate so as to shore up our
revenue.
I
understand that, would you say that these sources of income and these sources of revenue will actually cover the shortfall? Will they be large enough to cover the shortfall?
I am not saying that. These are only supplementing my revenue. I am also projecting a growth of around 50 million ton of traffic. This 50 million ton is just not a figure which has been put on the board. It is after consulting all the stakeholders, all the major commodity transporters who have given these figures. We had ordered a study by National Council of Applied Economic Research, who had also given us the projections. Based on this, we have come to the conclusion that 50 million ton, which amounts to around 5% growth in freight traffic, is reasonable and achievable. So that will add up to the revenue.
But wouldn't you say that, considering this is a year where you are safely away from the general election, and there wasn't an increase last year also, wouldn't you say that this was a year where you could have used it to maybe pass on a hike in passenger fare, considering you were agreeing that all of these other measures, they're only supplementary and they won't cover the shortfall altogether?
Passenger traffic, bulk of our passenger traffic basically is common man, and we can't be burdening them with passenger hikes too much. And we don't see for opportunities for raising the fares with reference to elections or otherwise. They are basically the need-based increases as and when they are there. So, and we try to see that common man is burdened to the least extent. So, at the moment we could match the budget numbers by raising the resources on other fronts, on increasing the volumes, increasing the new services on passenger side without any real increase on passenger fares. And we have also concentrated on reduction in expenditure, particularly on energy bill, which is going to be of the order of 3,500 crores or so. So all these measures, shoring up the revenue and reducing the expenditure, has been able to help us in this making of this budget.
So you were saying that the passenger segment doesn't account for a major chunk of the revenues. Let's talk about something that does, freight. The minister today said in his speech that currently it's only 10, the basket has only 10 commodities, the major freight basket, and you're looking to expand that commodity. What do you mean by expanding the basket? What all commodities would you get into the basket now?
Today, our 88% traffic is limited to 10 commodities, and perhaps we had not given serious look to other commodities. So we have identified 40 more commodities where our freight marketing officers will talk to the various transporters of these commodities and see what commodities meet our requirement of traffic movement and all, and whether we can capture that traffic. We are also concentrating on automobile traffic, which traditionally is going by road. We are also concentrating on parcel traffic, which has gone manifolds with FMCG and with e-commerce expanding at an exponential rate.
But when would all of this be done?
All these things have already started, and we will be seeing some results in this very year, because I have taken some numbers on these accounts. We are also concentrating on Ro-Ro model. Ro-Ro model basically is moving the loaded trucks by our flat wagons from one end to another end, first mile connectivity and last mile connectivity. That truck moves on its own power on road, so that we are in partnership with the roadways, not in competition with them, and it will be a win-win situation for both.
I would assume would be through the DFCs, right, the dedicated freight corridors?
Dedicated freight corridor comes, then we will have sufficient capacity to move very large number. But even now we can make a small beginning. Presently on Konkan route I am already having this service, and we run around say 1200 rakes per year, maybe around 3 rakes a day. And I think we are identifying the other routes which are not that crowded at the moment.
Speaking of those other routes, the minister today said he mentioned 3 new dedicated freight corridors. By when do you think these should be ready, to be commissioned?
We are presently concentrating on the construction of 2 dedicated freight corridors, that is east dedicated freight corridor and west, that is from Dankuni to Ludhiana and from Dadri to JNPT port. The other 3 corridors which Minister mentioned in his speech was that we have received the feasibility reports for those corridors. They are northwest, east, west and east coast, and ultimately we would like to take these projects. They will have to be properly analyzed, approvals taken and financial closure achieved before the work is taken up. So it is little away.
These 3 give us a ballpark number, say by 2019 is what we were hearing.
2019 is for the existing 2 corridors.
For the existing 2 corridors. So these 3 we could safely assume would be
away. I won't be able to put a timeline today.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.